the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama, touchdown run.
And everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into the latest edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Brett Pritchard, filling in for Luke Robinson in parts unknown.
Well, when is he not?
This is true.
This one's not by choice.
No,
I don't think, so.
got a lot on his plate
Yeah.
these days. So
His plate runneth over.
We appreciate all of you out there being with us. A lot to talk about, as always, on this Tuesday evening. The door is wide open. Whatever you'd like to talk about, if you'd like to bring up a new subject, by all means, give us a call. 256-234-6221. We'll obviously discuss college football. Alabama with a big win over Texas A&M. They seem to be in the driver's seat now in the Western Division. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. Yeah. They get Arkansas, I think, this week. And a good old 11 o'clock start there in Tuscaloosa. Auburn coming off a bye week. They'll head to Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers, 6 o'clock on ESPN Saturday night. We'll take a look at what happened in the SEC and maybe look forward to what's on the horizon this Saturday. Of course, Major League Baseball playoffs are underway. The Astros go into Minnesota and basically stomp a mud hole in the Twins.
They did. Winning
9-1 today. So they are back in control of that series, up 2-1.
But the Twins did get one in Houston. So.
They did, and they did what they were supposed to do. Of course, you come home and lose, you go
and they gave it right back. So.
But how about the Dodgers? That's got to be the one that's I told Jay, when JJ and I were talking about this last Wednesday, and he said, who do you think the Dodgers would rather see, the Diamondbacks or the Brewers? I said, oh, definitely the Brewers. I don't think they want any point. I don't think they want any part of the Diamondbacks.
I don't know that anybody wants any part of the Diamondbacks right now.
They just came in there and completely took control of that.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate. I'm not an LA fan, so I'm kind of glad they lose. I hated that Clayton Kershaw got. I do like Clayton Kershaw and everything he stands for, and for him to get the start in Game 1, just
so rare,
just not make it out of the first innings. It just shows you baseball. Clay Kershaw, one of the best pitchers of our era. And, of
course, he's on the tail end of his career.
He's on the tail end of his career, but he's still, again, he got the Game 1 start for a reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. And so, but L.A. has a habit of doing this. Possibly having the best roster from one year to the next, having the most wins from one year to the next, and then getting the playoffs and making it all the way even to the World Series and can't finish. I think have they won one?
They won one.
And then outside of that, man, but they've been right there.
You're right. With that roster and that payroll, only getting one, that's.
So is that Roberts not doing a good job as a manager? Or, he can't control Clayton Kershaw going out on the mound in Game 1 and just absolutely getting toasted. That's things that. Now, managers can only control – a lot of times in the pros, Andy, when you got a big roster like that, all you need to do is fill out the lineup card and let the rest go. Now, you got to make decisions on when to pull somebody, when to go to the bullpen, things like that. But outside of – man, you fill out the roster, everybody shows up. That's what you do in the pros.
Well, he said two starting pitchers in the first two games go out early.
Right.
Kershaw was out in the first inning. Miller last night was out in the third. So I think Roberts has actually done a really good job of managing these games. But, are you going to blame Dave Roberts for Mookie Betts and
not getting a hit?
And Freddie Freeman going 1 for 13?
Yeah, no.
And who would have thought that was going to happen?
Nobody. And
same people that thought the Braves were going to be shut out. This is playoff baseball. This is the way it's surprising.
People's rear ends get a little tighter out there.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Strider, in my opinion, hurt himself on Saturday. There's 2 outs, you got 2 strikes on a batter, and you're throwing over to first. and you sell it into the dang stands.
Yeah.
You know, just pitch, man. Get out of the inning. You're a dominant pitcher. You're probably the best pitcher in baseball this year. Just pitch. And then what happens? He gets to second, and then he comes up and gives up a hit. Well, a little bloop, and then all of a sudden you give up a run. And that's – you can see his frustration. A lot of times these guys bring stuff on themselves. So I don't know. You know, it's one of those deals that thank goodness the Braves got off the mat finally. Yesterday, what an ending to a game. When you look at – well, I mean, you look at another hole that they dug, and you thought, man, this is it. You know, that one run Acuna scored, at the time, it didn't feel like much of anything. I said that to y'all last night, but it's little things. If you're going to get back in the game, and then d'Arnaud comes up and hits a 2-run homer, all of a sudden you're down 1 run. And man, the things just worked out at the end.
You know, when Riley struck out on a pitch that was outside, it was close,
right.
but it was clearly
but it was
outside.
still, yeah, right.
But he was standing there at the plate when we had the opportunity to do some damage. You know, and he went, and I looked at that and I thought, okay. And then when he was coming up,
right.
I guess it was the bottom of the 8th. And, you know, I literally said to myself out loud, I said, Ronald's going to get on, Ozzy's going to get on, and Austin Riley's going to be a hero here. I said,
yeah.
He is going to be the hero tonight. And
he only needed one of them.
Ronald got hit.
Yeah.
Ozzy did not get on.
Right.
But sure enough.
One-handed it.
I mean, you throw – I mean, I've never seen him hit a slider like that. I don't think for a home run since he's been a Brave, but that was just unbelievable.
Pitch he's struggled with his entire career. You can tell how much more he's advanced in his appearance, you know, his approach at the plate. But one hand, you know, the will of him to do that and then to end the game the way he did it. Not standing over there watching the play, actively backing up. Ball goes through Albies, and it comes to him. And, you know, it's really perfect because if Albies fields that ball, he's going the opposite way. And no chance to throw out.
And the runner's right in his line of sight.
Right.
He probably hits him in the back.
Yeah, he really does. And then on the other side, Riley's fielding it moving toward first.
Better angle.
And a better angle. It just, you know, it just worked out. But the Braves end up, man, finishing that game. And, you know, you got to think of it from a mental thing. The Phillies felt like they were that close to going up 2-0 going home, and then they had the rug pulled out from under them. You don't get over that, man. You know, you still reel, and that was their best pitcher. That was their ace, and he pitched his butt off, and we did this to him last year. He did the same thing, pitched his butt off, and the Braves found a way with 4 singles to beat him. And it's like the Phillies have got to feel like, man, we just can't get over the hump. And, you know, if the Braves do win tomorrow and they go up 2-1, man, the Phillies, they're going to be –
They're done.
They're done.
I think if the Braves win tomorrow.
I totally agree. And on the flip side of that, if the Phillies win, I think it's in the DNA of the Braves to win that game 4 and then force another one to come back home in Atlanta.
There's
game
an old
5.
saying in baseball, you know, momentum is the starting day's pitcher.
That's right.
And so, I mean, Aaron Nola, he's been really good. When he's on, he's really, really good. But he's been up and down this year, and I believe the Braves are going to be dialed in offensively.
Is it Morton for the Braves or
maybe Elder?
Or Elder?
I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know if Charlie's healthy.
I don't either. I saw him getting on, you know, he making the trip.
Yeah.
So who knows? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. I don't know that that's been announced yet. But I had to get that out of the way because, man, just so glad that the Braves, after 104 wins, didn't poop the bed with two losses right out of the gate.
Somebody brought it up today, but they said that Austin Riley play reminded them of the Derek Jeter play out in Oakland.
Oh, yeah, and then you flip it. Yeah, that's right.
Got Jeremy Johnby at the plate.
Right.
I hate to admit it, but that did bring to that. I mean, it did
bring back images of that for sure.
Because you're right. I mean, it was just, why was he even there? Other than just doing his job. but backing up. But
And he
do you
comes right
ever
to
see
him.
the third baseman
No.
back up?
No.
So, I mean, plus the fact that what if it wasn't, what if it wasn't caught?
Right.
I mean, Harper's already around third going home. So,
Oh, yeah. It's tied for sure.
Yeah.
But then, if it's hit just a little harder, it's a one-run lead for the Phillies. When he hit it, I said, well, there it is. After they fought back, and to see Harris go up and make that catch that was a relief.
It was a tremendous play for sure. If you got any thoughts, let us know, 256-234-6221. You can also dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page, the Sports with a Z, and comment away. As always, check us out on the YouTube page or wherever you find it.
What's the series that Major League Baseball doesn't want to see in the World Series? The Twins and the Diamondback.
Maybe.
That could be one of the most unwatched World Series.
Or the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, or Rangers and the Phillies even. I mean,
I don't feel like any of that. I wouldn't watch any of it, to be honest with you. Might be watch a pitch here and there.
I'd probably watch a game or two of it, but yeah, I think the Braves and whoever would be a great series. Yeah, Orioles got any chance at all to come back?
Man, they had the second best.
They
season
were the second best team in baseball all year.
and just have been shellacked. And then I don't know.
These road teams, man.
I tell you,
really
just
good.
the resolve of these teams. But we'll see what Baltimore's made of.
I thought about this. We'll use this to close out this first segment, but the baseball with this new structure in the playoffs, you are rewarded for having the best. The two teams, the two division winners with the best records are quote unquote rewarded with a bye.
Right.
Last year, Braves and Dodgers got a bye out in the divisional series. This year, Orioles get a bye. They're down 0-2.
Maybe it's
the Braves lose game one.
I know it.
The Dodgers are 0-2.
Maybe there's something to it, man.
It is so antithetical to take a week off in baseball. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's more of a detriment than it is a help.
That's why the Braves were doing those practice things, all week and trying to inter squad a little bit.
They got to revisit how they're doing this, though.
Well, it's hurting the higher side.
It really is.
I think you're right.
I don't, so. All right, we're up against our first break, but don't go anywhere. We are just getting started on this edition of Sports Blitz Live. We'll be right back with more right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
The coast is here. Wharf Casual Seafood is serving up all your favorites: shrimp and grits, po' boys, tacos, seafood platters, and so much more. Don't miss out on our famous loaded fried green tomatoes. Wharf Casual Seafood is located on Highway 280 next to Regions Bank.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Just getting started on tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR's Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in Alexander City, celebrating 25 years here in Alexander City.
Here in a couple weeks.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful menu, great people, great atmosphere. Go and check them out. And
October 21st.
Get you some great food. October 21st.
21st and 22nd.
There you go.
21st is going to be, 25% off all menu items all day. And then on that Sunday, it's an invitation, basically invitation only event. But as Jeremy said the other day on the show, if you're downtown and you're around JR's, they're not turning you away, so you come on in. So that just kind of tells you who JR's is and the people. And it's really a celebration of Ann, who passed away this past year, and, everything that she did as far as bringing that JR's brand to Alexander City, and it will be a celebration there for that as well. So
get you an order of the cheese balls. Trust me.
It's hard to beat.
Hard to beat for sure. All right, a lot of college football this weekend. Alabama goes into Texas A&M, gets that win. We were talking about this earlier in the week. You and Randy talked about this a little bit today. But when you look at it, Brett, I mean, it was so even from a statistical point of view. I mean, they were both 4 of 12. They both had a little, Alabama had 344 total yards. Texas A&M had 306. Neither of them could run the ball very well. They were both 0 for 1 on fourth down. The difference is, though, Alabama had 14 penalties for 100 yards. They turned the ball over twice. They only had 23 yards rushing in this game. If Texas A&M was ever going to beat Alabama, I mean, and I know they beat them a couple of years ago in College Station, but if Jimbo Fisher was ever going to make a statement and say we are now in charge,
I think Jimbo Fisher's incapable of making a statement. That's the problem. As bad as we are this year, we had a chance a couple of times, even as poor as our offense played, to be right there, with 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game, have it cut to 3 points. And Alabama's not this is not a, what we are used to seeing with Alabama. They're still outstanding on defense. They're very spotty on offense. Obviously, when you look down and see an Alabama football team that only ran the ball for 23 yards, you're going, hold on a minute, what's going on? But Jalen Milroe came through. I thought he made some really good plays. He made some really good throws. Of course, he threw a pick, but at some point in time, Jalen Milroe is going to turn the dang ball over. It is in his DNA. He's going to do it once. He'd almost like, hey, look, Jalen, go out here, go ahead and throw your pick, and get it out of your system so we can play.
Well, Texas A&M said, Jalen Milroe, you beat us.
And he did.
And he did.
And so
credit to him.
When you look at it from that standpoint, Jimbo Fisher has massively underachieved almost his entire career, save the Jameis Winston years at Florida State, which I think he sold his soul to the devil with Jameis Winston to get that national title. And unfortunately, it was at our expense. I'll never, golly, it just sucks. I don't know even what to say. You go back and think about that every time. It makes you want to
until they run that fake punt. If they don't get that fake punt,
the game's over at half.
I think I think we run away.
I think we probably score again before half, and then they're so out of whack. But
thanks, Gus.
There's a lot of thanks to Gus on a lot of things. But if you look at Alabama and you look at Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M, Texas A&M has massively underachieved.
Well, think about this: Texas A&M's got to go to Tennessee this week.
Yeah,
they still got Ole Miss. They still got LSU. They're probably going to end up at best 8-4. Why do you continue down this road with Jimbo?
Because they gave him way too much of a buyout.
I'd give him a suitcase with $76 million in it, and I'd say, don't let the train, be under. There's a train leaving tomorrow. You be under it.
Well, they're invested in him, and I think that just shows you everybody kind of felt like he was going to be the next guy, and he has not been the next guy. And he bolted out of Florida State as fast as he could and left that program in shambles, man. That was
taking this long.
That was as bad as of a daggum Florida State program as you'd seen in 30 years. I'm not kidding. I mean, even that was almost a pre-Bobby Bowden days.
I would agree, yeah.
And so, they were getting beat 60-something to nothing at home. You had a fat old white man sitting on the top row in the section reading a book during the game, just getting their doors blown off. It was just a pathetic. You looked over, all the games were at 11 o'clock. They scanned the stadium. At best, a third full. So, it was bad, man. He just rolled out of town and took the paycheck at Texas A&M. And look, Texas A&M is having to deal with this now. And of all the teams in this league, to pay the ROI on Jimbo Fisher has been horrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's no question
If we'd have had half an offense, Andy, we would have won the game. I really feel like if Peyton Thorne had hit that wheel route early and we score with Jay Fair, I think it changes the whole dynamic of the game. And if we don't knock the daggum quarterback out and bring Max Johnson in, who looked like a daggum All-American, it's just the way things roll for us a lot of times. I don't know what else to say.
Well, it was bad for sure. So Alabama and Arkansas shouldn't be a problem. Arkansas is
not good.
Kind of middling around, doing what they do. They'll play some close games, but they lose a lot of close games. They just don't look real functional right now. So Alabama's in great shape. Texas A&M is now, again, looking at a very uphill battle with still some major hills to climb in this season. Jimbo Fisher to get fired. If they go 7-5, he's got to be, right?
I don't think
you don't think so.
I don't think they'll fire him at 7-5. I think I'll go one more year.
I'm not sure they don't fire him at 8-4.
They could.
Maybe. I don't know.
They could. Who knows nowadays? Who they get? That's the next thing you turn to. Who are you going to get?
Well,
who would A&M go hire?
I have no doubt Bobby Petrino is saying, by the way, I could take this.
I can take
to this next level.
Sure.
But who's the next up and comer?
Be careful who you hire, right?
Yeah. Go get Urban Meyer out of the booth. Texas A&M, you got an unlimited check to offer somebody.
Right.
I guess. So
right.
I guess they go out and get whoever they want.
Right.
Up against a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. About 30 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by Sunshine Heating and Air. For all your heating and cooling needs, give Kevin Keel and his crew a call.
This weather's changing.
825-4849, man. Fall is here. And
actually having a little fall.
We are, and it's nice. We may actually have a cool Halloween. I mean, it varies. I mean, you can remember.
There'll be one more hot streak.
Oh yeah. Despite what happened today, I think it was in the mid 80s today, but
right.
I think it's coming back where it's like low 70s, high 60s in the day, and 40s at night. So,
that's cool enough. It's not bone chilling cold, but it's cool enough to kind of have your jacket on, be okay outside, and then during the day it's not just sweltering, just melt you to death hot. So it's what you would bottle up and say, hey, you wouldn't have to have a central heat and air unit if you had weather like this year round.
This is true. But it's always nice to wake up and it's like, 64 or something in the house.
Right.
Just bump the heat on a little bit. Get to take the chill off the house.
Take the chill.
I mean, I always like that.
I don't turn the heat on until November.
I see.
Period.
You gotta.
And I mean, it has to be has to be pretty doggone cold to turn the heat on, in the early part of November.
I'll turn the heat on anytime it's cool.
Oh, I know you will. You've been known to turn the heat on in July.
Well, that's probably rare, but yeah, very rarely. All right, Auburn had the off week. They hopefully took care of a lot of the injuries. Hugh Freeze had something to say about that. A couple of those guys. I mean, it was thought maybe Damari Allison could be back for LSU. Doesn't appear that he will be with that separated shoulder. Obviously, Keontae Scott and Austin Keys they're going to be out for a little while longer as well. But maybe Jalen Simpson can come back to be 100% because he's a guy that Auburn really needs because he is such a dynamic player back there at safety.
Yeah, was it a calf?
Yeah.
He
got kicked is what it was.
He's had a great year to this point, and already thin in the secondary, and Keontae Scott out, and really some guys that were late getting there, Nehemiah Pritchett, So, yeah, he can't afford to lose many more, and I talked about it on Auburn Blitz today. I just think that Auburn is who they are right now, and I know Terry called in and was a little fired up about, the way Peyton Thorne had played at this point, and I think he was comparing it to Jalen Milroe's performance against A&M. And, yeah, he missed some throws. Wasn't a pretty first half for him by any stretch, but he has gotten better. And right now the glaring deficiency is our receiving core. When he does make a good throw, our receivers are letting the team down. They're not making the plays. Play right there at the end of the A&M game, right there in one of our guys' hands. He drops it. Catch that pass, you cut it to 3 points with 6 minutes to go in the game. Couple of times you could have kept drives going. You could have gotten down inside scoring position against Georgia if the receivers catch the football. Malcolm Johnson, Rivaldo Fairweather, they don't make the catch. We end up turning the ball over on downs or having to punt or not coming up with anything for whatever reason. So you got to make plays when you have the opportunity, especially when you are deficient in a lot of areas. And they had the opportunities against Georgia, and they just didn't make it happen, Andy. So I'm not placing all this on Thorne. I think Thorne is getting better. I thought Peyton Thorne's performance against Georgia was very serviceable.
Who would have thought he was going to be a far more dynamic with his legs than with his arm coming in? Who saw that coming?
Right, and 6 of the 9 incompletions for Peyton Thorne, Hugh Freeze said, should have been caught. So 6 of the 9 incompletions, Andy. He can't walk out there and hand the daggum thing to him. So, I've been a pro Peyton Thorne guy from day one. I've battled all of y'all when y'all on text threads and all wanting to kick him out and wanting to tell him to get gone.
I did not have him under the bus.
Now, you didn't have him quite there yet. Now, I retracted after the A&M game. I said, it's just not there, and for whatever reason. But then he battled back and played pretty doggone good, and I think he's getting better and getting more confidence. Hugh Freeze alluded to that this week. So, like I said today on Auburn Blitz, and I hate to use this phrase, but it is what it is this year. And I know people overuse that daggum thing a lot, but it is what it is this year with a piecemeal team. And when I say piecemeal, it's not a cut against any of our players, but a lot of these guys got there in June. The rest of them got there in January, and then you're having to get all of this put together and play a very tough schedule at the same time. These guys haven't been around each other very long. So I don't know that it's not that we're not physical up front on the offensive line as much as we miss communications and let guys go free sometimes. I think we've got a physical offensive line. We run the football pretty doggone good. So that tells you we don't mind mixing it up and being a pretty good physical team up front, but on pass protections and, we have problems with assignments up front, and that is lack of being together. Let's just be honest about it. And so if that can continue to get better, I talked about it this afternoon. Auburn's still got an outside chance to win 8 games this year. I mean, if they're able to get one of these next 2, whether it be LSU or Ole Miss, they'll be in position I think, to win out to get to Alabama, which would put them at 8 wins. So that's the way it goes. I mean, you got to look at it from that perspective. They definitely can beat Mississippi State. They definitely beat Vanderbilt. They can beat New Mexico State. They can beat Arkansas. I think they can beat Ole Miss, and I think they can beat LSU if they go down and actually move the football a little bit, because I think this will be one of the better defenses that LSU plays all year.
Well, you talk about the offensive line. Running the ball is more about brute force. It's more, there's obviously technique involved in it, but it's more about being physical. It's more about a mindset. It's more about just beating a man in front of you. And Auburn seems to be, and obviously Auburn is doing a better job of that this year.
They're third in the conference. They're running the football.
Pass blocking is more about technique. It's more about finesse. It's more about
and busted assignments.
It's more about assignment football. So rarely is an offensive line great at both. When you got an offensive line great at both, man, you got something in.
Well, we're
you
not
got a
good
championship type offensive line. We're a good run blocking. We're not great pass blocking.
Well, we're dead last in the league.
So, you Free said we're not changing the philosophy, and I'm fine with that. That we don't need to radically say, okay, we're just scrapping everything. We're going to go.
Cannot get a knee-jerk reaction.
We're going to put Robbie back
season.
there,
You can't do
and we're
it.
going to run. We're just going to run wing T. You can't do that.
You can't.
You could and say, okay, it might win us a game or two here, but
no.
That's just. I think that'd be pointless.
I said this a few weeks ago. You cannot use this year as a barometer of how anybody on that staff coaches or how any player plays. You gotta just evaluate and say, this is what we're going to do moving forward.
Do the best you can
and
with
we're
what
gonna,
you got.
Right. That's it. That's all you can do at this point. So
we'll see what happens. You go into LSU. LSU is as generous a defense as you're going to play all year long.
They're the worst. They're dead worst in the league.
They give up nearly 450 yards a game.
Well, look at the last 3 football games.
And 32 points. You remember we said, who called in? Was that me? No, that was somebody else is on the show. I think they said, can we hold LSU to 31 points? Well, they averaged giving up 32. So if we hold them to 31 and just scored their average, we win the game.
Yeah, Ole Miss put 55 on them. Florida State put 45 on them. Missouri scored 39. Arkansas scored 31.
And the good news is, too, the next week you play Ole Miss, their defense is about as generous.
They're terrible, too.
So, you're going to – if Auburn
were to somehow
needs to succeed, the next 2 weeks are good times.
Buddy, if you could win these 2. And
it changed your
you
season
see the whole rest of the next 4 games I talked about we have left. You're looking at a possibility of 9 wins. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it can. But now, if you lose both, and now you're hoping that you almost putting yourself in a position where you got to win. Arkansas, Mississippi State, New Mexico State, and Vanderbilt. You have to win. But Auburn, even on a down year, in all 4 of those games, Andy, it ought to be right there.
And Auburn's because there's no expectation for anything. Auburn's got the luxury to say, okay, look. It's all about LSU. We don't care about anything else. All that's true.
Right.
But we got to focus on LSU. Let's win this game. If we win this game, buddy, we're ahead. We're ahead.
And you got a raucous crowd at 6 o'clock on a Saturday in Jordan-Hare with Ole Miss coming in. And I'll roll the dice against Ole Miss any day. I don't care who they roll out there. We got a chance, or we should always be as good, if not better, even on a down year, than Ole Miss. Just is what it is.
Got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say, not to worry, everything is great, but we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you today? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Just a couple more segments left in the first hour of tonight's program. 256-234-6221. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind.
How about the Detroit Lions, man? You know, I feel sorry for them a little bit. I mean, they
took their lumps. You know, they lost a lot of close games.
They've taken their lumps for 40 years. 40. I mean, they're one of the franchises that hasn't been to a Super Bowl.
They're one of the original franchises of the NFL.
And
they were good for about, like in the aughts. But I mean, man, poor old Barry Sanders.
He just went ahead and
he was
retired.
such a joy to watch. But I mean, I think they made the playoffs once. In his whole time.
He had the worst offensive line and gained all those yards. It's like, him and Emmitt Smith were fun to watch, but if you had put Barry Sanders behind Dallas's offensive line back there in the 90s.
Well, he wouldn't know what to do running through a hole.
No.
I mean.
Have you, the footage of him stopping and going and turning around and changing direction is just amazing.
Of course, now I say that. People, if you've ever, go and look up Barry Sanders' numbers at Oklahoma State. It'll blow your mind.
Oh, I know it.
I mean, the guy,
he's
unbelievable. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think those numbers include bowl games back then. God. So, I mean, he was a
phenomenal player.
Nature.
He was a phenomenal player, But Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders in the NFL at the same time, two of the best.
Yeah.
So, anyway, kind of got off
track. But he had the
but
Detroit Lions. We
had 4-1, and, seeing some, man, San Francisco brought Purdy.
Is San Francisco best team in the NFL?
5-0 right now. And then you got Philadelphia's 5-0.
Yeah.
Philadelphia's like
Dolphins are really good.
Dolphins are very
Bills
good.
are good.
But the Bills got beat
Yeah, they got beat by Jacksonville.
Yeah,
It was in
I think
England,
Jackson.
though, right?
I think Jacksonville. That's 2 weeks in a row. Jacksonville played in England. They played the Falcons over there. They've won both. They may never come back. They just stay over there and make everybody come play them in London, and they may win it all.
It's a good strategy.
It is.
You
It
know.
is. But Kansas City's still going to be a force to be dealt with. There's some really bad football teams. Green Bay right now looks bad. Minnesota looks bad. Carolina is horrific. They're 0-5. Bryce Young.
Bears are terrible.
Oh, horrible. I mean, just horrific. There's some really bad teams out there. There's not a lot of in-betweens. You're either on the good side or you're struggling mightily.
Yeah. Well, our early predictions for Super Bowl?
Man, I tell you, in the NFC, it's the one loss.
right?
The one loss that the Bucs have is to Philadelphia, and so I think, I'm
could be a rematch of last year.
Well, it could be, but I like San Francisco. I mean, Brock Purdy is the guy. I mean, he is really Mr. What do they call him?
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant.
Last pick in the draft.
I think he makes the league minimum right now. Maybe one of the better quarterbacks in the league. But NFC, I'm riding with that. AFC,
Christian McCaffrey's not bad either.
Yeah, he's pretty doggone good. What was Carolina thinking? Huh? I mean, and look, this is not all on Bryce.
Ever thinking?
They're not. That's why they are where they are. So, but in the AFC, man, it's really a flip of the coin. I don't really know. Everybody was just all excited about Pittsburgh, and they're not very good.
No.
And
I think Tomlin,
Pickett is just. Everybody was excited about thought Kenny Pickett was going to be the next, and he may still be, but right now he's not. But AFC, I don't know, man. It's
Chiefs.
You'd have to lean the Chiefs right now. I'll tell you another one back in the NFC and we'll get out of this because I know we got to get the break. But the Cowboys fans have to be just like, how many more times do we have to watch this crap?
Well, I thought about that today, and I said it when they got him, and I got nothing against the guy. I really don't. But you're never going to win anything.
With Dak Prescott?
With Dak Prescott.
I've got a video I'll show you during the break. It's a Dallas fan. It is. I'm telling you. It'll be one of those where we come back from break and you'll still be laughing. But
they've invested a ton of money in him, and it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
It is not going to work.
So
period.
I don't.
And they got a pretty good defense.
You can keep running you into that brick wall as long as
you're expecting L.A. the Chargers to do something with Justin Herbert, and they're just and everybody's been waiting on Josh Allen in Buffalo to kind of just take the mantle, and then they go over to London and lose to Jacksonville. There's just a lot of inconsistency in the AFC. So right now, until somebody knocks them off, it's the fighting Taylor Swifts and Patrick Mahomes, right?
I guess that makes sense. Got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's truck season at AHSAA Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month. At AHSAA Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at AHSAA Honda, Tony Serra Ford, Serra Nissan, and Serra Chevrolet.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. with the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider. Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Lewis Pest Control is now serving Alexander City and the entire Lake Martin area. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, Lewis has environmentally safe products for all your pest control needs. Lewis Pest Control.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Just one more segment left in the first hour of tonight's program as I wipe the tears from my eyes.
The Dallas but is that not the epitome of Dallas, though? I mean, they just – it's every single year, and they've compiled some pretty good players on a roster, and they, like you said before we went to break, they went all in on Dak Prescott, and it was not a good one to go all in on.
I don't – fans are so weird, and they're so –
especially NFL fans.
I've never understood why a fan would destroy their own property that they paid for because the team loses a game. I mean, it's the weirdest phenomenon. I think they burn their own stuff.
They're just mad and just let it. But yeah, if you look at it right now, the division. I'll just go through the division leaders real quick since we're talking about it. Miami's 4-1 in the AFC East, AFC North. Pittsburgh's 3-2. Baltimore's 3-2. Man, that's a dud division. The AFC South's worse. Jacksonville's 3-2, Indianapolis 3-2, and Houston and Tennessee are 2-3. AFC West, Kansas City's 4-1, and then the Chargers 2-2. Man, that's a terrible division. I mean, Kansas City's got that one wrapped up already, 5 games in. NFC East, Philadelphia's 5-0, Dallas is 3-2, Washington's 2-3, and the Giants. Horrendous.
Yeah.
They just gave Daniel Jones that big contract, and how's that working out for them? NFC North, Detroit, 4-1. Green Bay's in second, 2-3. So
Green Bay's not good.
And then they got Chicago and Minnesota in there at 1-4. So I'm telling you, Detroit.
What's happened to Minnesota? They actually had gotten things going pretty good, but
just have lost like 3 really close games.
Yeah.
NFC South, my Buccaneers up. In first, Atlanta is right behind them at 3-2. New Orleans is 3-2, and the Carolina Panthers at 0-5, the only winless team. NFC West, it is San Francisco 5-0, Seattle 3-1, and they play coming up. This Sunday, I can't remember who it is that they play. They got a chance, man, to improve to 4-1. So the Rams 2-3, and then Arizona 1-4, and the one win was Dallas. So you want to know why the guy went and shoved the flag in the shrub? That's why he did that. So
well, looking back to college, looking around the SEC, Georgia. Did you actually think Kentucky had a chance in this game?
No, I didn't. And I know they were undefeated, and Missouri was the other team undefeated, and both of them now have a loss, so that's over. But Georgia in Athens, coming off that near miss against Auburn, I felt like they listened all week to media talk about, well, maybe they're not the best team anymore. Maybe this is a team that can't find their identity, and they use that as fuel all week. And man, Kentucky never was in it. They were out of sorts early in the first quarter. They get down 14-0, and
yep. It got worse.
And it did. And so Kentucky is going to be where Kentucky usually lands in the East. I think they're second or third best team, maybe. Tennessee's still on the horizon for Georgia. Georgia's got to go to Knoxville. You know that'll be a crazy game. It was a good game last year in Athens in the rain. But I feel like Georgia will take care of it. I mean, Georgia's in command of the East, and Kentucky. You know, if that would have been in Kentucky, maybe a little bit closer. But I never really. I
got no faith in Kentucky to win a big game like this.
I don't either.
I think they.
Well, haven't they done this the last 3 or 4 years against Georgia? Don't they get to this game either with 0 losses or 1 loss?
I think they've been a little disappointed in Leary as well.
Yeah.
They 10 of 26 for 128 yards. You know, that's not going to.
Well, I know that
it's not going to get it done.
But they thought that he was going to be the guy, and Auburn kind of felt like Peyton Thorne was going to be the guy. And I'm not saying either one of them still can't be.
Right.
But, right now it's just shows you when you bring a quarterback in the portal, it could be unrealistic expectations to think they're just going to come in here and set the world on fire.
You mentioned that LSU traveled to Missouri. Missouri was undefeated. I was pulling hard for Missouri. I mean, when they went right down the field, scored, and then went for 2 and got it, I thought, they were up 8. And then when they were up 22-7, I thought, hey, they look like the better team.
Sure.
Here, really.
And they had their chance. Ended up being a 10-point game, but that little pick down there deep inside their own territory was the difference in that. But, Missouri had the ball on the down 3 driving. So, LSU just – if you got the ball last against them, you got a chance. Ask Ole Miss.
But if they got the ball,
oh, yeah,
brother, they'll probably score.
They will.
Hugh Freeze is right.
They didn't score. They had the ball last against Ole Miss and didn't score.
That's right. They were on the doorstep.
They were. They were right there.
Arkansas goes to Ole Miss. This one you could have seen coming a mile away. Ole Miss coming off that.
Letdown.
Yeah, big letdown game. Only 300 after running up over 700 yards against LSU.
Yeah.
They can only manage less than 350.
Well, Arkansas does that to you, too. It's competition. They kind of drag you down into the mud, into the slop, and kind of make things a little bit more sluggish.
If you only get 36 rushing yards against Ole Miss's defense,
right,
then you've got issues.
Well, Arkansas's got issues. I don't know that Arkansas can do much better than Sam Pittman, though.
Did you see that pick 6 that K.J. Jefferson threw?
I did.
Where was he throwing?
I don't know.
I mean, that was as bad an interception as you'll ever see in major college football.
It was bad, no doubt about it. Hey, look, it cost them, too.
Yes, it did.
The difference in the game.
That's a big time. That's
a difference in the game. It's 27-20.
Vandy, will they win an SEC game?
I hope it ain't us. I'm going up there. Lord help. I'm hoping.
I'm scared to death.
Well, of course
that we will.
Oh, yeah.
That we will go up there and lay an egg.
We can. I mean, there is no for surety in the bag for us on anything. Look, no, I don't think so. Andy, I just think I said it today on the Auburn Blitz. They were 1 of 10 on third down against a very mediocre Florida team. This team's just bad. Vanderbilt just doesn't have any players. They're just not good.
Nah.
Like, you can't spin this any other way. If you lose to Vanderbilt, you suck. Period. I mean, if you're a mid-tier SEC team and you lose to Vanderbilt, you're terrible.
I think they got maybe 1 or 2 4-star guys on the roster.
It don't matter. I mean, this is
and you're talking about they don't have players.
Yeah,
they don't
have any players, man. And they're atrocious. And look, they've won 2 ball games. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think they probably have another out-of-conference game somewhere smattered in there. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but 3 wins maybe for Vanderbilt this year with no SEC wins.
But they're doing some they're doing some renovation, though.
Tell me about it. They aim at 25,000 seats in the stadium.
Well, Mississippi State takes care of Western Michigan, but Will Rogers leaves with an injury. Don't know his status. Don't know how bad it was.
That's not good for them.
That's certainly not good for them, I wouldn't think.
I can tell you no.
But you give up 28 points to Western Michigan. Auburn is again. You can't conflate 2 different games in 2 different places. But I'm going to. Mississippi State could not score against LSU's defense.
Right.
And they gave up 28 to Western Michigan.
They're not good.
Auburn, that should be a win for your Auburn.
Where's our guy that was on the show?
I thought about him the other day. I meant to bring that up.
He need to get him back on and ask him if he'd like to retract what he said.
You know, do you still feel the same way you did? Will
you allow me to?
You're right below Georgia and Alabama.
Will you allow me to tell him how much full of crap I thought he was while he was on the phone that night, and I knew that this was going to play out to be the way it is, and then I'd like to hear his response.
Yeah.
You know, me and Jared Palm don't have the best of relationships.
Let's wait till Auburn beats them.
Yeah. I don't even have to have Auburn beat them to tell him how bad Mississippi State.
No, but I'd feel better about it.
I would too.
Okay, you still feel like Auburn's a guarantee?
If we allow them to come into Jordan-Hare, that Mississippi State team, Andy, that's terrible.
That would be a disappointment for Hugh Freeze.
No. That ain't disappointment's a very mild word than what I was going to use. Anyway,
you take your flag off and stuff it in the shrub.
Yeah, it'd be more than that.
We got to take a break, but never fear, we will be back with hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
It's truck season at AHSAA Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month. At AHSAA Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at AHSAA Honda, Tony Serra Ford, Serra Nissan, and Serra Chevrolet.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider. Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Lewis Pest Control is now serving Alexander City and the entire Lake Martin area. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, Lewis has environmentally safe products for all your pest control needs. Lewis Pest Control.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live. Andy Graham and Brett Pritchard here with you for the next hour, taking you up to 9 o'clock. Going to go to the phone line and welcome in our good friend, Luke Robinson. Luke, how you doing tonight?
Just a lovely night.
You get on the road again, parts unknown, but I know you partook of the weekend. What was your overall thoughts of the SEC?
It was a lot of fun. That LSU-Missouri game was really a joy to watch, even though it left a lot to be desired if you enjoy defense. But I really, the first thought that came to my mind was that Missouri team is going to bring a lot of those same people back, and they play Alabama and Auburn next year. Alabama is going to welcome them in Tuscaloosa, and Auburn's going to travel to Missouri. That's not going to be an easy win. I mean, that's not going to be one of those that you just show up and roll the ball out there and win. But the whole league is going to be like that next year. I mean, when Texas, Oklahoma come in, those guys look like they were really getting after it. Even Texas A&M, look, Alabama beat them, and Alabama did a lot to hurt themselves. And, I heard you earlier say that this was certainly an opportunity for Jimbo Fisher, and you're absolutely right. Because if you think about Alabama's quarterback situation, while Jalen Milroe played his best game, no doubt, and his ceiling is getting higher while his floor is remaining stagnant. And so that's very good news for Alabama people. At the same time, there's no doubt he's not on the same page as, say, Bryce Young or Mac Jones or Tua or even Jalen Hurts. So, if you were going to get Alabama, this was one of the years to do it. Now, Texas A&M doesn't play Alabama next year, luckily for them, but I don't know if Jimbo Fisher will be around to play Alabama or not in the future. So that game was a lot of fun and had a lot of twists and turns in it. And A&M's defense is still pretty disgustingly good. I mean, their front seven is as good as anybody's. It's their back four that are pretty bad. And then, of course, Georgia flexed their muscles a little bit, but we don't really know how good Kentucky is. I still think Georgia is clearly the best or second, maybe third best team in the country, and they should have a clear path to the playoffs. But they're not as good as they were these last couple of years, and that should give some people some hope.
Yeah, I think that obviously they listened all week to everybody talk about maybe they're not as good as they have been the last couple of years, and they lack some things to be desired in some areas, and they were on a mission. They had a 5-0 team rolling in. He had people questioning whether they were legit, and they showed the country. I think that they're still the team to beat when it's all said and done. Now, they've still got a couple of games. The game in Knoxville is going to be a tough one. You know, that was Carson Beck's first road game at Auburn, but he was able to get through it. Brock Bowers was obviously the reason that Georgia won that game. But Georgia's still a very good football team, but I think you got really a handful of teams, the Michigans, the Ohio States, you can throw Oklahoma in that mix now. I'm not sold on USC because they don't know how to play defense at all. But I think you got 4 or 5 teams up there that on any given night could beat the other one.
You got Oregon and Washington playing each other this weekend, and USC will be involved when it comes to deciding the Pac-12 championship, but their defense is pretty bad, and they went to, I think, triple overtime with an Arizona team that's good, not great, at the Coliseum. So you got to think USC is going to, hit a landmine or two during this season, and I think that'll take them out of the conversation. Texas and Oklahoma will play each other again. I don't think there's any doubt about that in the Big 12 championship. In the ACC, Miami, they flubbed a sure win. They snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. There's no doubt about that against Georgia Tech. But they play North Carolina this weekend, and I suspect that Miami will play a little better in this game, even though it's at Chapel Hill. It wouldn't shock me if Miami were in that till the end. I love Drake May, but I'm not sure how good North Carolina is. And then, Florida State will, it could be Florida State, North Carolina for the ACC championship later on down in the year, and then that could be fun. So a lot of these are going to take care of themselves, but as far as like getting 2 from one conference or something like Ohio State, Michigan last year, Georgia, Alabama has done a couple of times, I don't know that that's going to happen this year, because you look at Ohio State's schedule, and now the fact that they beat Notre Dame is cheapened a little bit with Notre Dame's losing again to Louisville badly. And I think they still have to play Clemson, so Notre Dame could trip up again.
Well, Notre Dame's got to play Southern Cal this weekend.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy. And in fact, but I'll tell you something. It wouldn't shock me if Notre Dame won that simply because USC does not play defense, and it's in South Bend.
Yeah, right.
So I just feel like a lot of this is going to end up shaking out. Everybody's sort of thinking how wide open it is, and it is wide open at the moment. But I think when it comes down to it, it'll be Alabama and Georgia in the SEC title game. The winner goes on to the playoffs. I think it'll be Michigan or Penn State or maybe Ohio State in the playoffs. One of those ACC teams I mentioned, and probably Oregon or Washington. That may end up being what it is.
But no Oklahoma or Texas?
That's true. I guess you got to factor them in too. I should have done that.
Well, there's going to be a team or two left out, I think.
What's going to come down to it, let's just say Oklahoma wins out and Texas wins out, and then Texas beats Oklahoma in the Big 12 title game. Why should Texas's win over Oklahoma then be worth more than Oklahoma's win over Texas?
I think it would all depend on what the margin was. I mean, if it came down to the last second again, I think you bring up a great point. And I think the bias will be towards Texas because people are more affected by what's happened more recently. But I'm not sure that, I'm like you, I'm not sure that's fair. That's why I always hated it in the basketball selection when we said, well, they were hot coming down the stretch. Well, that just cheapens all the games in November. I think this game, we don't need to forget that this game in Dallas happened and that Texas should have won. I mean, if they had played a little bit smarter towards the end, they win that game. They drove way too quickly down the field and didn't have great clock management. I think that's something, hopefully they'll learn from. But I think these two are on a collision course to meet again. I guess what you can hope for as a fan and hope that there's not that there's any controversy is hope that one of them loses again between now and then.
Well, you got 5 conferences, and this will be the last time we have to fool with this 4-team deal. But you just happen to have 3 really good teams in the Pac-12, and Washington, Oregon, and USC. Of course, they'll kind of weed through themselves, and there'll be a champion out of that conference. But the Big Ten, there's 2 or 3 decent teams there. There's 2 or 3 teams in the ACC. There's 2, maybe 3 in the SEC, and then you got what you get with Oklahoma and Texas. I mean, somebody's going to get left out.
Yeah, and again, I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people say, hey, this is great for expansion. I'm really okay with somebody having to be left out rather than put undeserving teams in, but it is what it is. And next year, we'll get some teams that just don't really deserve to be in there. And what happens is you see it in the baseball playoffs right now. The Orioles, who were just great all year long, and then they're quote-unquote rewarded with some off time, and then it turns out in baseball that's a horrible idea.
It is.
Because now the Rangers have a chance just to go ahead and take this thing in a 3-0 sweep, and the Orioles haven't been swept all year. It's just a very weird scenario, but most of the time we kind of know who the 4 best teams are. I mean, I think for the most part they've got it right. In fact, most of the time we've known who the best 2 teams are, and we've just included 2 other teams.
Well, let me just go ahead and give you another.
This year's a little different, but it does make it fun. I mean, I think in a couple of weeks, by the time the committee puts their bracket out, which will be in 3 weeks, I think this thing will be much clearer.
Luke, before we let you go, update: Orioles are down 6-0 in the 5th inning.
See ya.
Bye. Sweet.
You're down what to nothing?
6-0.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's just
second best team in baseball. Second best team in baseball. Probably gonna get swept.
You play 162 games. You prove your merit over 162 games. There's no better sample size, and then you get rewarded with time off in the one sport where time off can kill you.
It's definitely screwed up. We talked about it in the first segment. The top seeded teams, the Braves, the Orioles, I mean, all of these teams, the Dodgers are struggling. Man, they are. So.
Yeah, because baseball, as much as anything, is about a rhythm. And, I think that when you take this much time off for somebody like
Well,
the
no,
Orioles,
they haven't had a week off. Yeah, none of these teams have had a week off in 7 months. And then all of a sudden you go down to the playoffs and you take a full week off. They're going to change that. I bet you anything. This will be changed, maybe changed by next year.
Yeah, the only thing they'll probably do is add more teams to the playoffs, which will just, make the regular season mean even less, but it doesn't matter in baseball anyway.
Well, Luke, we appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. Be careful on the road, man.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Yeah, and oddly enough, when you get the expansion of the playoff is when then you only have 4 major conferences.
Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
There's no need to get that.
Nobody can ever get it right.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal. The encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Sometimes the word tradition is thrown out there too lightly. But when JR's Sports Bar and Grill is celebrating 25 years of Lake Martin's favorite place for wings, chicken fingers, good drink, and good hometown folks, well, you know it's a true celebration. All of October, come celebrate with us for 25 awesome years. Chris and Audra are so thankful for each and every customer that's become part of JR's family. Come all month long, see our remodeling on the inside, and stay tuned for our October celebration event coming soon. JR's, a true 25-year tradition for the Lake Martin area.
If you're looking for something to do in the Lake Martin area, you have to go to Liquor by the Lake. Liquor by the Lake is not only the best place to pick up your hard-to-find liquors and craft beers, there's a bar. An awesome bar serving up specialty cocktails and martinis. And the best bushwhacker and creamsicle drinks at Lake Martin. Make plans to come out for happy hour Fridays from 7 to 9 with half-price beer and cocktails. And there's live entertainment on Thursdays. You can even watch the Alabama and Auburn games and Sunday and Monday night football. Liquor by the Lake, located on Highway 49 in the Big Fish Complex near Stillwaters. Open at 1 every day but closed on Wednesday. Come see us.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Thanks so much for Luke Robinson and the call. A lot of good information there. We appreciate all of you out there being with us on this Tuesday evening. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. Got some comments?
Yeah, Tony, I'm sorry about that, buddy. I don't know when you made these comments. He said, just tuned in. Do y'all think MLB should get rid of the wild cards, the buys? That's what we're just talking about. I think so, man. He said Rangers just hit that RBI double and a 3-run home to go up 6-0. He said get the brooms out for the Dodgers. Braves versus D-backs is my World Series prediction. So
I'll take it. I don't think it can be.
I mean, he said, my bad. He commented, he said Braves versus Rangers.
Okay.
He said hopefully the Braves win the Diamondback series.
I could see that. Look, man, the Rangers, I know it, a sweep of the Orioles is surprising because they hadn't been swept all year. But the Rangers are really, really good.
And the Braves have already played the Rangers.
Yeah.
They played them out there. And then, didn't they take 2 or 3 from the Rangers
I believe they did.
So.
Got swept by the Orioles, I believe.
They did.
In Atlanta.
So, look, you got to take one series at a time. Can't worry about who's next and who's 2 series from now. You
just better win. You better go ahead and win both of them in Philadelphia.
If you can come back,
at least to win one for sure.
One guarantees you come back.
Yeah.
And I'd like for them to go ahead and win tomorrow.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
So if they can go ahead and get that one, again, the Diamondbacks have been in that division with the Dodgers all year and
4 road games in a row.
How about that?
That's big time stuff. That's like 2001 Diamondbacks.
Right. To beat the Yankees.
Yeah.
Won the World Series. So.
Well, in a short segment here, we'll take a look. Did you watch the Oklahoma-Texas game?
I did. Watched it all.
Phenomenal game.
It was an
really entertaining
game. So
game.
much fun. Both teams really.
When you don't have a dog in the fight, it is so much more fun.
And they just they were both laying each other out. I mean, they were throwing each other around and really, really, probably one of the hardest hitting games. We talked about it, the group that I was watching it with said it's one of the harder hitting games we can remember, and sticking their headgear in there and really disruptive, coming out of the gate, Oklahoma with a pick and kind of setting the tone, and then Texas comes down right at the end of the game, scores, and you think, well, it's over, and Oklahoma right down the field.
Right down the field.
2 gritty, gutsy quarterbacks. Both of those guys just they were able to make plays all day, whether it be running the football or throwing it, and they were very similar. Both teams, obviously the score was 34-30, but both teams were eerily similar on both sides of the football.
Yeah. I thought Oklahoma was so much – they have improved so much since last year. I was really hard
This
on
was a
Brent Venables.
49-0 loss for Oklahoma last year.
Yeah, so I'm giving him a lot of credit. And
I'm not a Brent Venables
Maybe I misjudged. We'll see, but he's done a good job this year. Ohio State, Maryland was right there with them. It was 17-all at one time.
Right.
But then Ohio State finally turned it on. We mentioned Notre Dame getting beat. Louisville all of a sudden undefeated. Not all of a sudden, but
I think they're one of
Jeff
five.
Brom done a
They're
good
one
job.
of 5 teams left in Michigan, Louisville, Georgia. Is Ohio State still undefeated?
Yes.
Ohio State's still undefeated. USC.
Yeah.
And
USC's not going to stay undefeated.
no, they're not. But there's 5 or 6 teams left.
Is Utah still undefeated? No, they got
North Carolina's still undefeated, aren't they?
Okay.
Or no, did they lose? I can't remember. There's
That sounds about right. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I think there's 5 or 6 teams left that are still undefeated in college football. So.
Michigan just continues to roll along. The debacle at Miami.
I was going to bed, and we were looking at the scores of the last game we were watching, and Miami was up, and I'm like, well, that's about what we figured. Georgia Tech, just does what Georgia Tech does, and they find a way to lose, and literally got an alert on my phone that had this major up, and I pulled up the video, and I'm like, what? How? And Alabama almost did the same. I mean, it wasn't quite to that level, but Nick Saban looked like he was almost going to cry at the end of that game. Like, what are we doing? You've got 1 minute and 36 seconds to go. The team, Texas A&M has no timeouts. All you got to do is kneel on the ball. They threw a pass, Andy.
Yeah, incomplete.
And threw it in the ground. It's like, what are we doing, guys? I mean,
it's what Notre Dame did against Ohio State.
It is. So, if you look at it, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Oklahoma, Penn State.
Florida State was the other one. Okay.
Washington and Oregon and USC.
Somebody ain't going to be undefeated with Oregon and Washington.
Well, I was way off. There's like 9 teams still undefeated. I mean, the first 8 are undefeated, and you got Texas at 9 at 5-1, and you got USC 6-0, and you got North Carolina at 5-0, and you got Louisville at 6-0, way down at 14.
Wow.
So, man, there's a lot of undefeated teams left.
A lot of those teams play each other too.
They do.
That's going to take care of itself.
Well, Washington and Oregon are 7 and 8, and they play each other on Saturday. That'll be a good football game. You're going to know a lot about Bo Nix in this game.
Which is worse? Which is the worst coaching ending, Miami, Georgia Tech, or Auburn and Thompson?
I'm probably going to go.
Now, I realize it was a championship, but this is major college football.
Yeah, but look.
You can't let that happen in major college football.
One thing happened with Miami and Georgia Tech. Like 4 things happened with Auburn and Thompson.
Yeah.
And it's like, everything had to happen exactly like it had to happen in the last 2 minutes of that game for Thompson to even have a shot to kick a field goal, and it happened.
And the guy made it, too, 40-something yards.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I know.
I mean, it literally, I'll never forget it. I know Auburn fans will never forget it.
No.
They had a state champ. They were taking sizes on their rings on the sideline. And Thompson's players were crying. Mark Freeman had already taken his headset off and was walking up and down the sideline hugging everybody. They were nationally ranked on this huge winning streak and, really had played like crap all night, to be honest with you.
Lost their quarterback.
Yeah, and it just seemed like Auburn was destined to win that game, and I've just never seen anything
Auburn
like
High School fired their coach after that.
They did.
Should Cristobal have been fired?
I don't think Miami's going to go that far. I mean, it's bad. It's one of those that
bad.
You look back and
it may haunt them.
It's really inexcusable. I mean, that's just, and I think that's what Nick Saban was trying to say to his coaches and his players. is that we are unorganized. That's the thing that stands out to me about Alabama right now. More than anything, their defense is still really good. They have some ups and downs on offense, but I think their offense is still okay. But their unorganization and penalties and just out of whack on a lot of things. And it just seemed, and the end of that game was just totally out of whack for them. Where it should have been, okay, we know what we got to do. Let's just get up here and run the plays and run the clock out. And the first thing you do is you throw a swing pass over there and throw it in the ground. And it's like, what are we doing? Are we trying to look?
It's a good thing Tommy Reese wasn't on the sideline.
Right.
We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell, and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Only a few more segments left in tonight's show. We appreciate all of you out there being with us. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the calls. 256-234-6221. Some interesting games coming up this week. Troy is a 4.5-point favorite at West Point.
They beat Army last year in Troy. Mm-hmm. Very close game.
They could have beaten Boston College last week,
right?
But it slipped away from them at the end.
I like Troy in this game.
Why not?
They just
who's better than them?
Right, no kidding.
8-0. This top 25 matchup, top 20 matchup.
How about the last year of the Pac-12 may be the best year they've had, and Lord knows when.
Isn't that
They
fun?
got like 5 teams that are like unreal.
They have 7 teams in the top 25. More than any other conference. Number 18, UCLA, who came back and beat Washington State, I think, last week. 4-1. They're at number 15, Oregon State, who's 5-1. The Beavers.
When was the
are
last
a
time
4-point
Oregon
favorite.
State was 5-1? They're usually horrible.
It's been a while.
Washington State, usually horrible.
Yes.
I mean, you've got, man, yeah, you're right. UCLA did come back and beat Washington State last week. But, you think about it, Andy, Oregon State and Washington State still with no home. And you look at Washington State's even come out and said, Ryan Leaf, if they can't find a conference, they may do away with football at Washington State because they have no funding coming in to support a program that big when you're out of a conference. I mean, think about it, man. I mean, you take all of the profit sharing and the TV money and all that away, and you can't expect that team independently to go out there and compete and recruit against. Yeah. It's already hard enough to recruit way out there anyway. He said it's very possible that Washington State just says, look, we won't play football anymore. Can you imagine that?
Well, I mean, for Washington State, I'm not sure a lot of people are going to.
Well,
other than game day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The flag. It'll be a memorial flag.
It'll be a memorial.
But, I mean, that is like hard. Even I know you're right. It's not an SEC school, but Washington State here and there has right now, pretty good football team.
2 years ago. I was going to say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, that would have been unthinkable. Now it's a reality.
I mean,
how fast things are
some
moving.
of these teams get, it's not just the Troys and the Jacksonville States and the Southern Misses and those
Washington
teams.
State could drop down to a Mountain West or.
How bad is that?
Or maybe even drop down to, Division II. Do something to keep football. I mean, you would think.
But you compete at that level for so long to go down. I mean,
it's unheard of, but. These are not normal times.
These are not normal times. You're right. So, anyway, UCLA at Oregon State. I mean, Oregon State's tough, man.
They
got
are good.
Great quarterback. I'm going to go with Chip Kelly going into Oregon State and getting a win.
Upset.
I'm going to think he's going to go in and get a win.
Florida 4-2 on the road at South Carolina 2-3. The Gamecocks are a 2-point favorite.
That tells you all you need to know about Florida. This is not a good South Carolina team. I mean,
it's not.
And this
the
may
whole,
be an even worse Florida.
Spencer Rattler experiment has just not worked out.
No, and how did they catch fire at the end of last year like they did? That Tennessee team has got to be scratching their head going, what happened?
Yeah. And they were beating their brains in before the quarterback got hurt.
Right. I'm going to say South Carolina gets a win at home. Florida
they need it.
Florida, man.
Yeah, they're not good.
No, they're not good at all.
Number 25, Miami. Will they be recovered mentally? They go to number 12, North Carolina. Carolina's a 3.5-point favorite.
I'm going to go with.
You're rolling with the Tar Heels.
I'm going to go with the Tar Heels at home.
I say either Miami comes back and plays well and wins this game,
or gets blown
very
out.
close, or they lose by 4 touchdowns.
I don't think they'll lose by 4 touchdowns. I do think they'll lose, though.
Missouri, as my grandmother would say, is at number 24, Kentucky.
The battle of the former undefeated.
They were former undefeated. Now they're both one-loss teams.
That's right. At Kentucky, I like Missouri on the road.
I do, too.
Missouri seems to be a better team.
I think you're right.
I'm going to go with Missouri. Eli Drinkwitz getting to 6-1.
How about that? Number 10, USC on the road at number 21, Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are 3-point favorites.
Notre Dame desperately needs to win this football game. They've lost 2 in a row, and the Ohio State one was rip your heart out game. Louisville just looked better than Notre Dame. Period. I hate to say it.
I'm not sure Notre Dame is a well-coached team.
I'm not either, but I don't think USC can go on the road and actually, and on top of Notre Dame's back being against the wall. I'm gonna go with the Fighting Irish at home.
Everybody scores on USC. Notre Dame will do the same, but actually Notre Dame attempts to play defense. That may be enough.
It's going to be the best defense they played this year, and I think it's going to cause some problems for USC.
Texas A&M is on the road at number 19, Tennessee. Interesting. The Volunteers are a 3.5-point favorite.
I'm going to ride with Tennessee, and they're going to cover. And I think they could win by –
I don't trust Joe Milton.
I think Tennessee could win by 14.
Really?
I do, because I think A&M is – we all said – and Auburn had a chance to really make this even worse, because they could be sitting there at 3-3 right now if Auburn had somehow dug deep and found a way to win. We all wondered when the wheels might fall off of this Texas A&M train. I think they could fall off in Knoxville Saturday.
Saying the lug nuts are loose.
They're loose, man. And I think that Tennessee's environment, it's going to be rabid. It's the prime time game at 2:30. I think Tennessee's going to rise up. I just think Texas A&M's a big old barrel of disappointment. And, that's they'll fall to 4-3, man, and they're going to be digging for some answers.
The Boo Birds will be out for sure.
All right.
Got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll run down the rest of these when we come back with more right after this.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union for classes. And get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you, closing things out. Just a couple more segments. We are looking at some upcoming games this Saturday, making some predictions. This is a good one. Number 8, Oregon, undefeated. Bo Nix, Heisman candidate, on the road at number 7, Washington, also undefeated, The Huskies are a 3-point favorite. This one 2:30
Hey,
on ABC.
Get your YouTube TV split screen going.
Yeah, really.
2:30. You got Texas A&M, Tennessee. You got Oregon, Washington, and you got Florida and South Carolina. I mean, you got some decent games on at the same. But Oregon, Washington, right there beside each other in the polls at 7 and 8. Bo Nix, man, he could really make a push for the Heisman Trophy here.
Telling you, you go in. You play lights out, obviously. But if you go in and outplay Penix and beat Washington
at his place,
I think he's got to jump to number one.
I think he does. I think he does.
And then later on, he's going to have a chance to play, I think, USC.
Yeah.
In Oregon to battle Caleb Williams, and he could basically
if he beats both of those guys,
the trophy today.
If he beats both of those guys head to head, I think Bo Nix wins Heisman.
I'd love to see it. I really would.
Oh,
I would. It would.
Look. That guy played for Auburn for 3 years.
It would hurt my soul to see him up there in a green tie.
Right.
And to talk about how great Oregon is. But it's our own fault.
But he spent most of his career at Auburn.
He did.
And, his dad was a legacy at Auburn. So, look, I'm pulling for him, man. I hope the guy does a really, really does really well coming down the stretch. So.
Would they roll tumors if he won the Heisman?
He might have something to do it.
I think he probably would.
What would that be? A fall Heisman for faux pas Heisman?
Yeah. Arkansas is on the road at number 11 Alabama. It's a blowout here. 19.5.
I think it could.
Think they cover?
I think they can.
Yeah. I would not be surprised. That one at 11 o'clock. That one breakfast in Tuscaloosa. Auburn is at LSU. This one's 6 o'clock at night.
Gosh.
I mean, we've played some great games up there at night. Hadn't come out on top in a lot of them. But we have.
Gonna suck. I know we're not very good. Gonna suck to look down and be 0-3 in the conference. And that's just a hard one to swallow. But, I mean, I easily going to be 0-4 in the conference.
We've been competitive.
We have been competitive.
Been competitive in every game.
I just don't think we have enough, man. And I that's a common theme. If we were at home, I'd say we had a chance. I don't know that we got a chance in LSU. I think LSU wins by a couple touchdowns. I really do. I mean, their offense is just too good, and our defense will play really well. I think we'll stay in the game.
Unfortunately, it'll be a lot like Georgia. I mean,
I think it will.
The fourth quarter will be out of gas defensively.
If Auburn can keep the football, if Auburn and LSU will turn the ball over now.
Yeah.
They have a problem turning it over. But if Auburn can hold on to the ball and run the football against this LSU team, which LSU's terrible against the run, if they can run the football, Andy, I think we can keep it away from them long enough to and that's one thing we've struggled with is time of possession and converting on third downs. If we've got to do better there to give ourselves a chance to win the game. Period.
Yeah. Here's one for you. LSU defense has given up 128 first downs on the year. Auburn defense only given up 77. That'll tell you the difference in these two. Now, granted, they played 5 games, we played 4.
Right.
But still, I mean, we played 5, they played 6. But still, they're 110th in the country. Auburn's, like you said, they got to stay on the field. They have got to make long, 10-play drives.
Right.
And keep that LSU offense on the sideline. And if they could do that, they could be in the game for sure. So
I think Auburn's going to play. I think they're going to play well at times. I think this will come down to the fourth quarter. But I just don't think there's enough there. If Auburn can get a couple late turnovers, it's going to help. This is not an unbeatable LSU team.
Not close. No.
This is not a very seasoned Auburn team either that they have not shown that they play well at all on the road.
No.
I mean, if you look at it from the sample size we have so far.
If you're going to do it, if you're going to start to do it, this would be the week to get that going for sure. Braves and Phillies tomorrow night in Philadelphia. Again, I don't know who's going for Auburn yet. I think it's Aaron Nola for the Phillies. Got offense, can they continue to do what the Braves do?
Oh, yeah.
Jump on them early. The Braves are the best team in baseball in the first inning.
Except for the last 2 games.
Except for the last 2 games. So
maybe outside of their system. Again, maybe the cobwebs are wiped out and that break's over and now they're back in a rhythm again. And you'll know more after tomorrow night.
You win a game like they did, that I don't care what anybody says.
They dug that one out. They dug that one out.
That carries over. Now, the Braves' mentality.
I think a hangover carries over for Philly too.
Yeah,
because they're sitting there. It's hard as a human not to go, man. We ought to be up 2-0.
Yeah,
we ought to be up 2-0.
We were up 4-0 in this game.
Yeah, we had a chance to win the series tonight. Instead, we're tied. It's like they're still thinking about a letdown. Braves are riding a wave of momentum. And if the Braves can build off that, jump out early, like you said, man, it could be tough.
And the fact that you hit a couple of home runs, which is what the Braves
– They need to get those bats.
That's what they do. So, got to take a break. We'll be back with one final segment of Sports Blitz Live on this Tuesday, right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
This fall, nobody beats Martin's Sports Pub for Lake Martin's best sports experience. Martin's all-star lineup of cold beverages and pub fare food can't be beat, with the region's best wings, burgers, and signature dishes. At Martin's, you always have the best seat in the house for all college and NFL on our multiple 360-view TV and huge projection screen with surround sound. See our pigskin scoreboard weekly to win big money and let our all-pro teams serve it all to you at the place we all win. Martin's, Highway 34, Dadeville. Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Sometimes the word tradition is thrown out there too lightly. But when JR's Sports Bar and Grill is celebrating 25 years of Lake Martin's favorite place for wings, chicken fingers, good drink, and good hometown folks, well, you know it's a true celebration. All of October, come celebrate with us for 25 awesome years. Chris and Audra are so thankful for each and every customer that's become part of JR's family. Come all month long, see our remodeling on the inside, and stay tuned for our October celebration event coming soon. JR's, a true 25-year tradition for the Lake Martin area.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett closing things out to 9 o'clock here. Do a little rank 'em to close things out, put a cap on things. happy birthday yesterday, John Lennon.
How about that?
Of course, he died in 1980, but born in 1940, so he would have been 83.
How about that?
Yesterday. John Lennon. We got Beatles songs here, so I Want to Hold Your Hand, Hey Jude, Let It Be, Yesterday, Hard Day's Night.
Are you a big Beatles fan?
I like the Beatles.
I like them. I'm not a huge fan. I don't put them on in the car.
No, I've got an album. I mean, I've got a greatest hits album.
Okay.
But I would much prefer a Led Zeppelin or a Jimi Hendrix if I'm going rock and roll, classic rock and roll.
I already knew that.
Yeah.
But then,
you've heard more Led Zeppelin
I have.
in my car.
There's no
than
doubt.
you've ever heard
ever anywhere else on planet Earth. And DJ Magic Mike. by the way. The extremes, that you can go back and forth.
That's true, yeah.
But, yesterday.
You got a favorite Beatles song?
Not really. I mean, again, I'm not an overly big Beatles fan. I mean, again, I don't dislike them. I think, obviously, they're iconic.
Yeah.
And did a lot for rock and roll. But if I'm going to rank these, I'm going to probably go Let It Be, Hey Jude, Hard Day's Night, Yesterday, and Hold Your Hand.
Really?
That's where I'm going to go.
Okay. You could put them in any order.
I won't hold your hand at the end.
You could put them in any order and it'd be right.
True.
To be honest with you.
I do like Hey Jude, though.
Oh, I do, too. It's a great song. Written for?
I need that. Crap.
Written for John.
Now, you don't know.
No.
Now we'll never get to the bottom of it.
Yes, we will. Who's his son?
John Lennon's son.
Written by.
Yeah. Julian.
Yes. But it was written by, what's his name? Who's the guy? Lord.
I'm doing everything.
Not George Harrison, not John Lennon, not
Paul
Ringo.
McCartney.
Written by Paul McCartney.
Not Paul Carney. Paul McCartney.
Yeah. All right, Robert Wool. Let's get off that while we can.
Okay.
All right, I don't know if you recognize the name, character actor, but he was the assistant coach in Bull Durham.
Okay.
Hey, he was in Batman. He was the reporter.
Right.
Good Morning Vietnam. He was in Blue Chips. He was in Cobb. He's in a lot. Did you ever see Cobb?
I did.
Tommy Lee Jones. That's actually really good.
No, it's a good movie.
But he's in a lot of sports movies. So Bull Durham, Batman, Good Morning Vietnam, Blue Chips, and Cobb.
I mean, if I'm rating the movies, or am I rating his performance?
You're rating the movies.
Okay. I'm
He
gonna go.
happens to be in.
I'm actually gonna go Blue Chips one. I love that.
Wow,
I love
really?
that movie.
It's
It's a
good.
great movie.
Very
Good
good.
Morning Vietnam
What did we
second.
buy that kid a tractor? A tractor?
Exactly. Good Morning Vietnam second. Batman third. Bull Durham fourth, and Cobb fifth. And if I was watching them, I'd watch them in that order.
Yeah. If I'm watching them, Bull Durham's number one, Batman's number two, Blue Chips number three, Cobb four, and Good
Morning Vietnam last.
It's good. It's just I don't want to see it again.
Okay.
David Lee Roth, born on this day, 1954. Van Halen songs with David Lee Roth.
These are all
Hot for Teacher, Dance the Night Away, Running with the Devil, Jump, Panama.
Jump's first for me.
Really? Okay.
Panama second. Running with the Devil might be 2B. Running with the Devil's really, really good. Hot for Teacher, and then Dance the Night Away.
I'm going Running with the Devil one. Yeah.
Running with the Devil, like I said, it's hard not to go with Jump, though, man.
That's two for me.
Okay.
Panama, maybe three. No, I take it back. Hot for Teacher, then Panama, then Dancing the Night Away. I think I would put that last with you. But I told Luke, I'm actually more of a Sammy Hagar Van Halen fan than I am a David.
Van Hagar?
I mean, that was he did some great albums.
He did some good ones, but he's not a David Lee Roth fan.
Okay. He was just a wacko.
He's just a gigolo everywhere he goes.
That's true. That's probably true. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. We appreciate all of you out there being with us. Be sure to join us tomorrow for the Auburn Blitz, 12 to 1. And tune us in next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel, right here for Sports Blitz Live. He is Brett Pritchard. I'm Andy Graham. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. ants and swarming termites. Throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.